Hello everyone. In this video, we will be sharing the experience of Mr. Akshay Raj, who has been placed as a design engineer in Xilinx. Before we listen to Akshay, I would like to introduce him formally to our viewers. Akshay is a final year MTech student in the Department of Electrical Engineering at IIT Bombay. His MTech specialization is solid state devices, that is E7. For his master's thesis project, he is working on the negative bias temperature instability aging framework for analog and digital circuits. During his MTech, he has studied courses such as VLSI design, VLSI technology, processor design, etc. Apart from academics, he has also been working as Department Coordinator, Institute Student Companion Program, also known as ISCP at IIT Bombay since April 2020. He completed his BTech in Electronics and Communication Engineering from NIT Uttarakhand in 2018. Without further delay, I would request Akshay to share his experience of getting placed in Xilinx. Thank you, Akshay. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Sudhakar, for inviting me here. I really feel honored to be sitting with you and in this platform. And being a ISCP DC, I really thank you for this initiative that you have taken. It's a really great initiative, and it will be really very helpful for the juniors and the upcoming batch. I really thank you for that.
Yes, Akshay, you are welcome. We really hope that our initiative will help a lot of students. And yes, Akshay. So, Akshay, could you please tell us a bit about the company Xilinx and the profile of design engineer that you have been offered?
Yeah. So, Xilinx is basically an American product-based company. It's a fabless company which has now been acquired by AMD. So, Xilinx is mainly deals with the FPGAs, CPLDs, and data centers. And if I talk about its dominating presence, then it's kind of dominating in the areas like automobile automation, in the aerospace industry, in the defense sector as well. So its products are mainly used in applications like self-driving cars and automobile automation for making fighter jets, missile systems, and even the rockets and the space explorations as well. Like you must have heard about the latest NASA mission of Mars mission.
Yeah.
So they have landed a rover on the Mars that is called Perseverance rover. So that also contains Xilinx on board. So
okay, that's great. That it's nice to know about wide range of products which Xilinx is working on, and yeah, and how it is affecting a lot of products or other market, in fact.
Yes, right.
Yes. And your profile, like design engineer. So, what is that profile? If you could tell us.
Okay. So my profile is basically design engineer first. Okay. So it mainly deals with FPGA design and verification, ASIC design and verification, pre and post silicon validation, CMOS design, and IP design verification. So these are some of the main roles that will be included in this profile. There can be some other roles as well, and which I would come to know later when I join the team at Xilinx.
Yeah. Yes, Akshay. Thank you. So, Akshay, we can talk now. We can talk about the various JAPs of Xilinx. JAPs like job announcement form or job application form, as we call it. So, like, if you could tell us the various JAPs of Xilinx.
Yeah. So there were 4 jobs offered by the company, and out of which 2 were only for PhDs and 2 were for BTech, MTech, BTech, MTech, and dual degrees. Yes. So those 2 were design engineer and the software engineer, and I applied only for the design engineer.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
So how many offers in this JAF has been made by Xilinx? How many offers?
Okay, so yeah, for the design engineer they took 4. They offered 4 people, and overall, if I say, they took 7 people.
Okay. Yeah, so Xilinx has made 7 offers this year at IIT Bombay, yeah. And out of those 7, 4 are design engineers.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you are one of those 4.
Yeah.
Yes, Akshay. So, Akshay, we will talk about your placement experience in detail as we progress. But before that, we can talk about some other aspects of your profile, like your MTP, your courses. So, some of the courses which you personally feel that those courses would have helped you in getting into Xilinx or for placements, in fact.
Yes. So, for preparing for this Xilinx interview, it was basically a digital profile. So I prepared overall for the digital profile, and I started with the courses like VLSI Design and VLSI Design Lab. So these were the two main courses which deals with the digital part of the digital domain of this VLSI industry. So these were the two main courses, and apart from this, I also took some courses in my undergrads like Verilog SDL and Digital Integrated Circuits. So these two courses also helped me a lot to crack through this interview.
Okay, so this way, can we conclude that the students who are looking for design engineers in firms like Xilinx, so they should opt for these courses?
Exactly, absolutely. So VLSI design is one of the most important courses that anyone should take if he wants to go into digital domain. And if he takes the VLSI design lab and hardware description language as well, then it would be a plus point.
Yes. Yeah, and I think almost all the courses there were also course projects.
Exactly. Every course had some projects, and those projects I had included in the resume.
Yeah,
and those were kept in the top so that it creates more impact.
Yes, yeah. So I think in case of electrical engineering students, the courses and the projects along with that courses, those really add up, and those things give you an edge over other candidates.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, actually. So Akshay, we can talk a bit about your MTP now, and as you have mentioned the courses, so obviously those courses had course projects. So now we can talk about your MTP. Like, do you feel that your master's thesis project would have helped you in your placements?
Well, to this answer, I would say it a mixture of both yes and no, because I had 2 rounds for my Xilinx. It was technical and the HR round. So in both the rounds, I was asked about MTP, means what I had done, and they were enthusiastic enough to know what I had done. And for each interview, they took around 10 minutes, and they asked counter questions on my project. So I would say yes, they wanted to know what I had done in the project, how nicely I had done, and how much depth in knowledge I have about that project. So I would say in that sense, yes, it really helped me. But since it was not a digital domain project, it was kind of device reliability project. So in that aspect, I would say it didn't help me much. But yes, you should have an in-depth knowledge about the project that you have done.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. Like I also believe that you should know about your MTP. Only then you can defend it, and you can defend what you are doing and how your work is somewhat novel.
Yes, right.
Definitely. Yes. Okay. So now we can again switch back to your placement experience. So if you could tell us about the steps which happened after signing the JAF, and before that, do you remember the departments for which this JAF was open, the design engineer JAF?
Yeah, JAF was opened for physics engineering department and electrical department, and there was a Syscon department and IEOR. There is a department. So these 4 were eligible for it, and almost everyone from these departments had applied.
Okay. And so those who applied for this JAF or signed this JAF, they were allowed to take the test, or there was any resume shortlisting in between the test and the signing of the JAF?
Yes, there was a resume shortlisting.
Okay.
And almost all the electrical guys were shortlisted, and some of the IEOR and Syscon were also shortlisted for that.
Okay. Yeah. It's nice to hear that Syscon people were there, because I am from Syscon, so it's always nice to hear that Syscon was there somehow.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So now we can talk about the test. What was the type of test, or the some of the pattern of the test, if you could tell us?
Yeah. So test was basically a mixture of aptitude and some technical questions. There were basically 2 sections in the test. First one was the APTI, which was like easy to moderate level, and the second one was technical, which included mostly digital questions, and along with it some network analysis questions and static time analysis questions, and those were like moderate type of questions. And the duration of test was around 1 hour, and number of questions were around 25.
Okay. So in case of design engineer profile, there was no question on coding, programming language?
No, there was no question on coding.
Okay, okay. So this was somewhat a hardware engineering profile.
Exactly, exactly. The only coding present for the digital engineer is the Verilog, and other than that, there was no coding for like C or Python or any other. So there was nothing like that. Only snippets of the Verilog part, means how the hardware will be implemented from the Verilog. So that kind of questions.
Okay, okay. And since you applied only for design engineer, so you had only technical questions, no programming questions were there.
Right, right.
Yeah. So we can talk a bit about that the technical part of the test. Aptitude we can skip, but we can talk about technical, like how did you prepare for the technical questions?
Okay.
And as we have mentioned that the syllabus, you have mentioned that like static timing analysis, Verilog, code snippets were there. So how did you prepare for those MCQs?
Okay, so basically, I started my preparation back in the May 2020. So I started with the GATE syllabus, and in the GATE also very specific. To be very specific, I took the digital electronics and a small part of analog electronics and some network analysis. So basically, these three things I covered just to brush up the things, and then I moved on to the some of the books that were recommended by our seniors. The books were like Digital Integrated Circuits by Rabe, and another book was Verilog by Samir Palnitkar. So these two books are very renowned, and they gives a very depth knowledge starting from the basic. And other than that, I studied some online material as well, like NPTEL. There is a lecture on Verilog by Professor Indranil Sengur. He is from IIT Kharagpur, and he has covered the Verilog in the best way possible.
Okay.
And also, I took help of some of the blogs, like VLSI Expert blog is there. That is for static time analysis. They have explained from zero to the very high level. And, yeah, and some of the topics like clock domain crossing and static time analysis. So these were the kinds of topics which are never taught in the curriculum in the IIT form. So we need to take help from the online stuff for that. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I think you have covered quite a lot of things, in this span. And some of the resources which you have mentioned, I guess those resources are very useful.
Yes.
And means people will definitely get an idea, like these are resources which one should always, consult while preparing for these profiles.
Exactly. Right.
And as I remember, Savita, who got placed in Google, she has also referred to some of these resources, like
Yes.
the which you have mentioned. She has also referred to these things.
Yes. Right. So actually, these are the very renowned sources, and our seniors have recommended this to us, and now we are recommending to our upcoming batches. So it's kind of chain process that is coming through and going forward.
Yeah, definitely the legacy continues, and the
Yes.
knowledge transfer has to definitely happen.
Exactly.
Yes, Akshay. So Akshay, apart from studying these materials from online or offline or some books for that matter, did you also practice the gate questions? Means while preparing for placements mainly.
Yes, yes. I basically took the part which I had learned for the gate, like only for digital part, I took the help of the gate questions. Other than that, I didn't go much into that because gate level questions are also very tricky and time
Yeah.
consuming. So that is very high level, I would say, for the placements. That level is not recommended, but though you should have a sound knowledge of that gate part.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, so I think resources will definitely be helpful, and you have planned it very well. And as you mentioned that you started somewhat back when we were, at our homes,
Yes,
and and yeah, and it was a lockdown state. So yeah, and I think that's why you got placed in the very early stage of the placement, and so your hard work really paid off well.
thank you, thank you.
Yes, Akshay. So, Akshay, now we can talk a bit about your resume. And I guess we have covered about test, and we have also covered about somewhat syllabus of the test and your preparation strategy mainly. So those things we have covered. So now we can talk a bit about your resume. And as I can see, you have definitely prepared a very impressive resume. And most importantly, you have prepared things in a very, in a consistent manner. So we can talk a bit about like how did you plan your resume, or how one should plan their resume while applying for placement in the next season.
Yeah. So resume is a very crucial thing that just reflects your personality. So I think a resume is a kind of thing that needs to be given some kind of focus on it. Some people think like, okay, we can do it in just 1 or 2 days, but I think that in a different way. I took around 1 month or so to prepare this resume. I started with writing all the random stuff that I had in my mind. So I just made a rough draft of it. Then afterwards, I tried to arrange it in a certain order by seeing some of the good resumes of our seniors. And then after that, maintaining that order, I thought that what could make my resume look more attractive. So I thought of making it good aligned and making some bullet points, and as well as highlighting the keywords. And the best thing could be to make use of latex and in the best way possible. So I googled it how to do the things, and it made it in a very chronological order. So after that, what I did is I sent my resume to seniors for review. So I gave it to nearly 5 to 6 seniors and took the feedback from them. So some of the seniors gave really nice feedback and constructive feedback, I would say. So I really, took that advice and restructured my resume in a much better way. So this is how I came up with this final resume.
Yes. Yeah, your effort is clearly visible in your resume, I must say.
Thank you.
Yes, Akshay.
And this is just the half part of the resume. I would say that I made the 2 or 3 resumes, and those were varying with the different profiles. This is for the one you are saying is only for the digital one, and I have another one for devices and one-page resume also. So yeah, I tried to make it in the best way possible.
Yes, yeah, that is called planning.
Fortunately, I had some contact with some good seniors, so yeah.
Yes, Akshay. So Akshay, then I think we have covered the things which happened before your interview, and anything you want to add in this part before the interview part?
Yeah, before the interview, as every senior says, please start early. Do not wait for the end moment. And resume part, especially, I would say the deadlines are quite hard deadlines, and people generally get panic at the end moment because there are lots of resume verification things that needs to be done, and they just say that okay, it's the hard, and after this you cannot change, even if it's a spelling mistake or even if you want to add or remove some words, so that cannot be done. So I would say you should spend a quite significant time in making your resume, because resume is the first thing that is going to be forwarded to the recruiter.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. So thank you, Akshay. So I guess then we have covered the things which we had planned in this part actually.